welcome to this ventilator related video dated the 28th of April 2020. This is the second video about a simple ventilator technology demonstrator. Please see the disclaimer. Please note that we're not going to discuss today anything about the control system here, the Arduino, the relays, the pneumatic valve, or about the BVM device, it happens to be an Ambu bag spur 2 here, or about the inputs. We're only going to discuss the things that have changed from the previous videos, and that's the main wooden chassis and certain attachments on that chassis. So to learn about those other areas, please go back and look at the previous videos. Okay. Right, the new chassis is much simpler than the previous one. The previous chassis had 3 horizontal timbers, this one has just 2. The previous chassis had 4 tall timbers, this one has got only 2 short timbers. There are a few tiny timbers on the end, simply to add extra functionality. So let's just run through what's happened here, why this has changed. Previously, the Ambu bag was squashed when the plastic bottle was inflated, so it was above the hinged arm and squashed against an arm that was above that, the third arm on the top. Now, the Ambu bag is squashed when the plastic bottle is deflated, and so only 2 arms are required. We've moved the elastic that was on the end here back to here, because here the ratio of the extended elastic to the shortened elastic was very high, and we were doing lots of work stretching elastic. Here we're putting a lot less extension into the elastic each time the hinge opens and closes. We've gained a good number of features, however. We've gained an adjustment for the tidal volume. This screw can be adjusted up and down. The lower it goes, the less the tidal volume the bag displaces when it's squeezed. The higher the screw rod here, the greater the volume of the tidal volume. We've added an unusual timber underneath here, which is not optimized, and I'm not even sure how well it works, but I think something like this helps to break the shape of the Ambu bag as it's squeezed to help it expel more air. Maybe that should be a domed cup, maybe on the top arm and the bottom arm, maybe just on the bottom arm. Maybe it could just be a square flat plate. I think lots of permutations to be tried, but without a volume measuring device, it's very difficult to know whether you're improving the situation or not. So I've put something in there just to show that it's an area that to be thought about, but I haven't gone into it any further. The elastic's coming back to here because they were on the end and they're now back at this much shorter arm length. They've lost quite a deal of their mechanical advantage, about by a factor of 3. So there are a good deal more of them, more elastics required to achieve the same level of squeezing of the plastic bottle. And that's got its benefits, however, because should a single elastic break, there's still a good number of them functioning. Of course, these elastics could also be springs, which would make the whole device a good deal more reliable. All of the screws we've used, both here and here, should really be a little bit heavier. We've broken a few screws here, and these uprights do move a little bit in the joint against the bottom chassis member. It would be better if we just put either extra screws or bigger screws, or maybe extra and bigger screws in. This little timber here just helps us shorten the handle on the Ambu bag to hold it in place. We can get the machine running. Bear with me. There we go. Turn the air on. Get the machine running. I've been leaving the Ambu bag squashed, which is not good for it. As you can see, it's adopted the shape a little bit of. This is quite an old Ambu bag now. It's done lots of hours of development. So I'm anticipating some new BVM devices shortly. So you might be seeing a different product there shortly. Okay. Notice there's a raised foot at the bottom here. This allows the Ambu bag to fold around the beam and doesn't stop the Ambu bag collapsing and being held up by the table. And of course, once again, we've included the handle so that it can be carried to business meetings or on family days out. Sorry, that's it. No funny ending this time. Thanks very much for watching. Andy Firth. Bye for now. That went well, didn't it? Come back here, you little